Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to Kop On podcast. This is a Kop On exclusive special, exclusive to no one apart from you on YouTube and you in the audio feed listening to this back later. Any second is later than this one now, but this one now is taking place at 16:53 p.m. in French time, and I hope that wherever you are, whoever you are, you're very well. And Liverpool today have released a bombshell, the bombshell news, the big la bomba, that Ekitike has signed, at least agreed terms. Let's try and get this right. What's actually happened? I mean, the story started on Reddit of all things, and I'll show you the Reddit post. Well, that's how I heard about it, but Twitter, from Twitter, via Reddit, I got the news, and it was Fabrice Hawkins, a Fabrice Hawkins exclusive, and the tweet went along the lines of Hugo Ekitike and Liverpool reach an agreement over 6-year contract. The player only wants Liverpool. In the last 24 hours, he has rejected Manchester United. Newcastle have already left the talks. Negotiation ongoing between Frankfurt and Liverpool. This is very, very, very exciting. So I guess all that needs to be done is to agree the fee between them. So I'm very delighted. I hope Alan C is going to join me as well. I hope so. I clicked the button to let him in. There he is, Alan.
Hello, Will.
Hello. We're live. You're live. How's it going, Alan?
Great, Owen. Great. Thank you very much.
Absolutely
I'm going to
wonderful
jump
to
on
hear
and
your
give you a bit of
voice.
waffle.
Yeah, no, sorry, I interrupted you because I was too excited to hear your voice after all this time. Yeah, you're up for a waffle? Is that what you said?
Up for a bit of a waffle, Owen. Yeah, throw my hat in the ring and don't know much about him, to be honest, but yeah, quite excited.
Yeah, let's
Um,
find out. Let's find out together. So, Ekitike signing. I mean, I was just explaining to our dear, sweet, adored listener how, this is how I found out. Was from Reddit a couple of hours ago, 5 hours ago, as we're talking now. And if you can read it on the screen, it just said that Liverpool have reached an agreement over a 6-year contract. That's a long contract. He's 23 years old. Okay, he played for PSG, but couldn't really get in the team because they had Mbappe playing in his position, basically. Mbappe, Dembele, these kind of players. So he couldn't really get to PSG. That's why he joined Eintracht Frankfurt, and from there he did extremely well. I'll try and bring up some stats for you, Alan. But in terms of the eye test and the things that we've seen, hang on, let's have a look at this. There you go. Can you see the screen there, Alan? Can you see that or not really?
yes, I can. Yeah, I'm only on my phone, so it's not easy, but I can see it. Yeah,
Okay, well let me try and zoom in for you. Is that any better? How's that?
perfect, brilliant. Thank you, thank you.
Excellent. So there you go. So Hugo Ekitike, 189 centimeters, which is 6'3", something like that. 6'4", 6'3". He's extremely tall. 23 years old, just turned 23 on the 20th of June. He's a right-footed player, wears number 11. Not quite sure that Mo will give up his number at Liverpool, but there you go. The market value, according to FOTMob, is 71.1 million euros. He plays as a striker all the time, occasionally left wing, but a striker. He's a striker. And here are some interesting stats for you, Alan. His features, this is against all other attackers in the top 5 leagues. He features very, very highly in terms of chances created, in the 89th percentile for chances created. So we're not just buying someone who's going to score us goals, hopefully, but we're buying someone who's going to create them as well. So our attack, Alan, as it stands today, we've still got Diaz, we've still got Nunez. They may well leave, but we've definitely got Mo Salah, Wirtz, you got to help me out. We've got too many attackers. Chiesa, Elliot, Soboslai, Rio, Ben Doak. So what do you reckon then? Are we going to play with a number 9 with Wirtz in behind, and then Gakpo on the left? I forgot about Gakpo as well. Gakpo on the left and Mo Salah on the right. Is that what you would imagine, Alan?
Yes, I'd imagine so, because like as you said, we have Gakpo and Diaz on the left at the moment anyway, unless Diaz does go. But most of what I've seen from him, and I've only seen, YouTube highlights and stuff, he does play a lot from the left. He cuts in very well and shoots with his right, but I can see him as being a better centre forward than say the likes of Gakpo, because his movement, his turn and stuff is very good. He has the height also for the headers. Yeah, I can see us playing as the centre forward in front of Wirtz, and switching over to the left end when necessary, because like he just looks like a player on. He just, even when you see his highlights, and if you see good highlight reels, don't look at the 2-minute ones you see of all his goals. Look for the ones where they show him doing passes and working with the team. There's some fantastic football he plays. Like, I'm quite impressed. I said I haven't seen a lot of him, but I'm quite impressed with him.
Well, that's fantastic. We've got some people in the chat. We've got Douglas from the Dugout Football channel. The Dugout Football channel on YouTube. Do give Doug a follow. And Doug says, "Here we Hugo," which is an excellent pun on Fabrizio Romano's line. Here we go. Here we Hugo. I like it. Gary Richards is in the chat. He says, "Tally ho, Owen. Tally ho, Gary." Gary says that he called it. Hugo will score 40 goals. Vavavoom. Gary's pretty excited. I love it. Fantastic. And Graham Rogers is in the chat as well. Maybe we will get both. We'll get both. What, like Rodrigo, Isak? Who's the other one you're thinking of, Graham? Please do let me know. So just to compare these stats that we've got on screen, we've got the ones on screen from FotMob. I'm going to do the same thing with Cody Gakpo, okay? So we can see the same diagram with Cody Gakpo on FotMob. You can see it if you're following on YouTube. So if I'm going to, hang on, there you go. And I'm going to zoom into this one here so that Alan can see and everyone can see. So Cody Gakpo, it's a bit too much, excuse me. Cody Gakpo is in the 84th percentile for chances created. Ekitike in the 89th%. In terms of touches on the ball, Cody Gakpo is only in the 32nd percentile, whereas Ekitike is in the 78th percentile. You can see that. Shot attempts, Ekitike in the 92nd percentile, Cody Gakpo in the 83rd percentile. And let's just talk about that for a moment, Alan. So in terms of the actual attempts at goal, Ekitike has, significantly more attempts than Cody Gakpo. And Cody Gakpo is someone who strikes me as someone who loves having a dig, having a crack at goal. So it's kind of exciting to imagine someone who is going to get way more touches on the ball. And as you say, if you look at the highlight reels, he's extremely good on the ball. And a lot more shots. This is all very exciting, Alan. I'm really excited.
Absolutely, and I love your stats and your stuff, because I'm not into that. And sorry, not that I'm not into it. I don't follow it as much, but just to see them things alone, because Cody is great for us. Cody, when he comes onto the pitch, always drives forward looking for goals. But again, just to go back to his touches, like 98% touches towards what, 38 was it?
It was
that's huge difference.
78%
the game
compared to 32% for Cody Gakpo. Yeah, so it's,
that's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
As I said, the highlights. As I said, the highlights I've seen of him cutting in a lot and shooting with his right, his finishing is really high up there. Like, Cody cuts in and shoots and scores some goals. Brilliant. Diaz we love up and down that left wing, but when he cuts in to try and go on to his right foot like that, he's not as successful. So, like, it's I don't know, it's really exciting to see this. And if Diaz does leave and we have Cody and Ekitike, the two of them will push each other. And like you said already, we can push one of them over into the centre forward position. So we're going to have double the trouble for the defending team. You know, it's really exciting one.
I don't know how.
And plus, if we get him for the reported, 75, 80 million instead of the 120 or 30 million that we've got for Isak, we can go out and buy Mark Gahey with the rest of the money, which is another thing.
Fantastic. I mean, I'd like to get your opinion on that. I mean, so you think we need another centre back? I think that's clear. I think everyone's pretty much all in agreement. And if we were to get another centre back plus Ekitike, Graham in the chat was suggesting that we would get get two players. I don't know. Would you like another attacker? Would you like another midfielder as well as Ekitike and Mark Gahey, or another centre back?
Yeah, well, I think if we get him now, we'll be okay up front. Of course, we definitely need another centre back, possibly two, because I think I even said this last year. Konate has no loyalty to us, and he'll be gone with any chance he gets. So the way things are going with him at the moment, personally, I would let him go, get 30 million or whatever for him, and buy Gahey, because Gahey has the Premier League experience. There's no bedding in. So of course we'd all like maybe another number 6. But we're not stuck for it. That's the beauty of our team this year. Any players we're buying better players. So if the right player's not there, I'm happy with what we have until we find the right player. But we do have money, so you think we were buying this player and we haven't sold many people yet. Like let's face it, if he comes in, there's a good chance that Diaz is leaving. If Konate doesn't sign his deal, there's a good chance Konate is leaving. But do you know one Liverpool fan that's panicking on? We're not panicking, because we are buying, we're strong, and I think Slot is going to improve the players we have, and he's going to bring in better players to improve the overall quality. The other thing as well, if you don't mind me going off on a waffle, the way this thing happened with Isak the other day, and it kind of came out that Liverpool were making offers and stuff, very public. That's not what Liverpool normally do. And I'd love to know your opinion on why we did that. Was it a ploy to try and, see would Isak come out and say, I want to go to Liverpool? Was it a plan to... Have you any idea why they did it different? Just kind of baffling me a bit, but
I don't know.
happy they were kind of...
You see, for me, people tend to read a lot into it. There's talk of 4D chess and other expressions that have become quite popular over recent years in terms of transfer dealings. Things like smoke screens and things like that. There are certain wheeler dealer tactics that I think any self-respecting sporting director will have up their sleeve, but I honestly think that a lot of the time it's a bit more straightforward than people think. I think that Liverpool, as reported by Ornstein and other fairly respectable journalists, contacted Newcastle, and basically Newcastle, like I've been saying on Kop On podcast, they've got no reason to sell Isak. He's got 3 years left on his deal. He's absolutely adored by the fans. It would be a PR disaster. They would just, regardless of whether the player, threw the toys out of the pram and all that stuff and put pressure on the club, or tried to put pressure on the club to leave and join Liverpool, the club would just say no, a firm no. So I just get the impression, of course, from the outside, I know nothing, that Liverpool contacted Newcastle and said, look, we're going to give you a big offer, take it or leave it, 120 million, for example, for Isak. Newcastle said no, and Newcastle were like, oh, we've got Nigel's coming as well. And Newcastle said no, and Liverpool just had to deal with that. So then, of course, Liverpool then moved on to Ekitike as their second choice on the list. And I just don't think it's much more complicated than that. But of course, we know nothing from the outside. Let me just try and change something so that the viewers can see more of my face. There you go, on screen, on YouTube, hopefully. Anyway, let me know how this goes. This is a brand new YouTube thing, and I'm delighted to be joined by Nigel. Nigel, we're just going through some things here, having a chat, having a chin wag. Alan says he's waffling. I disagree. I mean, I love a good waffle, though. I've been to Belgium, but Alan is speaking a lot of sense. How are you doing, Nigel? Are you excited about this one, Ekitike?
Yeah, great. We're signing a palindrome. Yeah. Well, if we can get Ekitike and Rodrigo, I think it's very good business. We wanted Isak, fair enough. Finished article, great striker. But down the years, especially under Klopp, I think I said it the other night, we've been better at developing players and turning them into superstars, I think. And I think that might suit us a bit better in the long run. I don't know how you feel about that. But if we can get Ekitike, and I've heard him say, I saw a little slip up him this morning, and I thought slightly Thierry Henry, tall, elegant, kind of that type of player, pacey. And Trezeguet as well. And then I was talking to my friend Dave earlier on, and he said to me, possibly an Elke. So if we can get a player akin to that style, I think it's a very good signing.
Excellent stuff. I've just done some crazy things. Technically, I got a bit distracted because I suddenly had some boxes jumping up and down. But yes, I mean, comparing him to Anelka, the thing that pops out to me is Peter Crouch in terms of his technical ability, the big guy with good feet and all that stuff. But I mean, if we get someone like Anelka, of course, brilliant. Trezeguet that you mentioned, brilliant. Thierry Henry, Dreamland, and you never know. Alan, you said you don't really follow the stats, and that's good because I'm very happy to bring you some. Someone called Spencer Mossman on Twitter put a very interesting post up, and I will bring it to you if I can. 1 second, let me just click a few buttons here, if I may, and hopefully bring up this tab for you. Hang on, where is it? Is it this one? Let's have a look because okay. What this is, you'll see it in a minute on your screen, is Spencer Mossman basically debunking what's his name, Ekitike's a myth about Ekitike, because he missed a lot of chances last season. Okay, I don't know if I can bring it to you on the screen. I'm sorry about that. Excuse me, I'm trying to
it's good on,
but it's getting smaller.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can you see any of that?
That's good. That's good, yeah. That's good on.
Okay. It says, I've missed the first page of this. I've cut it out. Basically, the XG, okay, how many goals you're expected to get in a season. He underperformed. He underperformed fairly significantly. I'm going to stop presenting because I've got too much to think about. So I'm just going to explain it to you. He was, which is no comfort to us who have sat through, for example, Darwin Núñez missing a hatful of chances. Ekitike missed so many chances last season. He was number one in terms of chances missed, in terms of underperforming his XG, basically. So he got, I can't remember how many goals, maybe I think 19 goals, and he should have got 24 goals in the Bundesliga. So basically he missed a lot of sitters last season. So this guy on Twitter, Spencer Mossman, he was saying, okay, but let's have a look at that in greater detail, and let's zoom out and not just look at last season, let's look at some other factors. And basically, because he looks like a poor finisher, but if you take the amount of shots, then it's slightly different, because he took a lot of sort of pot shots from outside the area. And if you get... if you look at how good he is a finisher in the box, which I imagine Slot will iron this out of him, this idea that he takes pot shots and low XG chances. You just, don't shoot from outside the area, play the pass, make a run, because you've got brilliant players around him, So if he stops taking wild chances, because he only scored, I think, 5 out of 116 long shots in the last 2 seasons, or something like that. If he irons that out, if he stops doing that, then he's actually very, very much more clinical over the past 2 or 3 seasons than you would think. Because actually, over his career, he's not -5 XG, he's plus 0.4 XG. So last season could have been an outlier in terms of he was just unlucky, he had pressure, I don't know, maybe it was the German weather, maybe he had too much sauerkraut the night before or something. But then when he moves to Liverpool and he gets into, the Sunday roasts or the scouse, a pot of scouse, then he'll be hitting the target more often. Just an idea. But Alan, basically, Spencer Mossman had a very long post that I've tried and butchered in my explanation, but basically saying, don't worry, lads, he missed a lot of chances last season, but this coming season, he'll be banging them in. In the chat, delighted that we have as well, sorry, before you come in there, Alan, we've got the Cop Council, we've got Connor. Hello, Connor. He says Ekitike will be a fantastic signing. Excellent stuff, Connor. We have Kears23, who says, listen to the pod for ages. Nice to see you, with a little heart emoji. Lovely to see you too, Kears. Let me know who you are, where you are, koponpodcast@gmail.com, if you've got a chance. And Geordie D is here saying, Isak would have been better. Ekitike is unproven. Ooh, yeah, interesting stuff, Geordie. What do you think of that, actually, Alan? So I've given you some stats, basically, relax, chillax, if you will. Everything's going to be okay. Or you've got Geordie D's idea that, well, he's unproven. We don't know what's going to happen. What do you reckon, Alan, to all of this? What do you reckon? Are you feeling confident?
Yeah, I'm quite confident. Just to start off with the stats there, every player has a bad season, has some misses, goes through a season where they have 1 or 2 misses. So if he still scored 19 goals in a bad season, that sounds promising. As for Isak, I don't know, this is just totally me, right? And I was trying to say this to my son the other day, but he doesn't agree with me. But there's something about Isak, I don't know, about the end of last season when Mo stopped scoring goals. And I kind of lost count of who was ahead in the Golden Boot thing, or how many goals were ahead. And I forget, something like the last 7 or 8 games, Mo hadn't scored a goal. And I was thinking to myself, oh crap, he's going to lose the Golden Boot. And for me anyway, Isak never took advantage of that, never pushed on, never scored goals. And I thought that was a weakness. I just thought, if you're fighting against Mo Salah for the goals and he's not scoring goals, you go out and you score goals. And maybe it's just me overthinking, but I had a slight doubt in my head about his mentality or something, if that sounds correct. And I was looking at the time, there was talk of Bodum, and that's when I started looking at some highlight reels and watching him a bit more in Ekitike. And I just thought to myself at the time, I would rather go for this chap and progress him, because he's on an upward trend. if the money was right. Now, I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying if we got Isak tomorrow I wouldn't be happy, but I'm not disappointed. I'm not explaining it properly well, but to me there was something in that where he had the chance to go for the golden boot and he just didn't seem to step up a level. And,
That's very
Nigel's nodding a bit with me there. Hopefully he gets me.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, of course, there's the groin problem with Isak. I mean, what do you reckon to Isak, Nigel? I mean, are you sorry to see him go? He is a hell of a player.
Yeah, he is. Excellent player. But like Alan said, he's had a couple of little knocks here and there, and he's missed a few games. I think he missed a few last season with a broken toe or something. But all down the years, we've been better at developing players. That's been our thing. It's been Klopp's thing. He's brought in players, and people were saying, "Oh, Mo Salah's a failure in the Premier League. Oh, Bobby Firmino, 29 million for a second-rate Brazilian. Oh, Sadio Mane, 30 million. You must be joking." Well, guess what? You can see it now fairly soon. I think it's going to be about 70 million before the add-ons. 70 million pounds, 80 million euros before the add-ons. It's what I was hearing earlier on. And you know, if we develop this guy, well, he's 23, 6'3". You know, I think we could have a real steal in our hands here in the end. And there's a possibility that instead of just getting Isak for, say, 150 million, we get this guy for 70 million euros plus add-ons, and the possibility of maybe Rodrigo as well, which has been mooted.
I'm not into Rodrigo. I've been saying in our Kop On WhatsApp group, I'm not into him. But before we get into Rodrigo, I'll show you why, because it's all to do with numbers. I'm going to share my screen again for the YouTube watchers, and I'm going to explain it for the audio listeners as well. As Lee Cootie's in the chat. Hello, Lee. Great to have you with us. He says, Alan, you're spot on about Isak. Yeah, so these are the stats. Erratum. I said he got 19 goals. He actually got 15 goals in the Bundesliga last season, but with 8 assists. That's from 31 starts and 33 matches. He came off the bench twice. So that's 33 matches out of 34, remember, because the Bundesliga is a smaller league than the Premier League in terms of the amount of teams. He only played 34 matches, so he played pretty much the whole season. 15 goals and 8 assists. When you have underachieved in your goals, that's quite remarkable, because in terms of minutes played, it's 2,578 minutes played in the Bundesliga last season for Ekitike. And from that 2,578 minutes played, anybody who gets sort of, if you call it 2,578, if you call that 25, right, you just sort of take off the last two numbers in those thousands, then if you get goals and assists, he's got 23 if you add 15 plus 8, okay? So he's got 23 goal involvements in what I would call 25 is your target for being a brilliant player. I don't know if that makes any sense. So, for example, Gonzalo Ramos, I was looking at the other day, excellent young Portuguese player for PSG, but again, he can't really get into the team like Ekitike couldn't. He played 1,000 minutes, 1,100 minutes last season in Liga. So 1,100 minutes, call that 11. Okay, and we're looking for him to be a brilliant young player. We're looking for him to get 11 goals and assists in that time to be up there among the top talents in Europe. And so Ekitike's got 23 out of what I would call 25. So he's looking like an incredible talent. Someone who underperformed last season still performed extremely well. In terms of match stats, I mean, he scores all kinds of things, but he creates. The last match he played was on the 17th of May. He got 1 assist in the 89th minute in a 3-1 win over Freiburg. But so he's going to have to get used to playing, the likes of Freiburg, from playing Freiburg, St. Pauli, Mainz, Leipzig, Augsburg. He's going to, have to get used to playing the Premier League monsters. Do you have any? I don't know. Do you watch much Bundesliga, Nigel or Alan? I don't really watch it, but I think the step up is pretty big, isn't it?
Yeah, I've seen a few games like this season and all, but I was watching some Leverkusen. I think I saw some Freiburg as well, and they had Marmouche playing with them, didn't they? I think, was he with them?
He was with them. Yeah,
I think he was
before until January. Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. I've seen some Bundesliga games, but like, it's a step up, mostly because of the intensity in the Premier League. Any league is a step up. The Premier League is a step up from any league at the minute because of the intensity of the league. You know what I mean? If you go to Germany, to France, to Italy, to Spain, the game is slowed down a little bit more than it is in the Premier League. And there are better teams, I will say, to a point. And any team can kind of beat any team. But the intensity is the thing. Can he do the step up? Can he intensify his game to a point where he's able to kind of last the pace, so to speak? And that was a problem with some players that we've signed. I'm going to say Darwin, unfortunately, but that could be the big problem with him, is that he's all right pace-wise, but a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of intelligence. Now, he did it sometimes, but we need a little bit more than sometimes. So that's what I'd be looking at anyway. Can he move up a step and tune his mind and his game to a slightly more technical game, so to speak?
I was thinking about this in terms of Darwin, Alan. The fear is history will repeat itself, and Ekitike won't be able to make that step up. But there's also the law of mathematical averages, which suggests that if you buy two players for 80 million, if one of them doesn't work, then the other one probably will. There's that, which is just based on blind hope. But I don't know, where do you stand on the adaptation thing, Alan? Will he be able to adapt to the Premier League?
Yeah, I think Nigel put it very well there, actually. A lot of what I was thinking, Nigel has just said it there. But yeah, I think it's important that we don't, we all love Darwin. And I know Nigel, like myself, was at Anfield, seen Darwin play against us and thought, yeah, he's a great player, but it just didn't work with us. Like I said, we all love Darwin. Everyone loves Darwin, but sometimes he's like a rabbit trapped in the headlights of a car. Like, he just doesn't seem to be able to use his brain in certain situations. He just goes hell for leather, runs up the pitch and shoots wide or whatever. From what I've seen of Ekitike, he's like I said already, he's an intelligent player. He can play ball. I think it's also the fact that a young, eager player like that playing in the German league for a good enough team, this is a step up. This is like all of us in life, in your job or in your life, you want to step up, you want to improve, you want to reach the next level. So I'm hoping that this is what he does. He comes into the Premier League with the champions of England, playing with better players, and this is an opportunity for him to step up. So we all hope that that's what he does. That's our hope. Like you said, just because it didn't work with Darwin doesn't mean it'll not work with the next guy. I'm well in my 50s and I've been following Liverpool for 40 odd years. And I've seen lots of players come and go that played well and didn't play well and stuff. And if we were to judge them all by the likes of, not flops, but lads that didn't make it like Darwin, we'd never buy anyone again. Personally, I'm quite confident in this guy. Yeah, I'm quite confident in this guy. I really like him. I think he's going to step up around better players and become better. So I'm quite confident.
Excellent stuff. You can see on YouTube. I was just going to share a tab. This is why I don't want Rodrigo. Everybody, in La Liga 24-25. Rodrigo, before we go back to Ekitike, Rodrigo, you'll be able to see it in a minute, hopefully. when my computer catches up with what I'm trying to do. Rodrigo played 1,937 minutes. Here we go. 1,937 minutes in La Liga last season. So we're going to round that up to 20. Okay, 20. So you're looking for 20 goals and assists. And he's only got 11. He got 6 goals and 5 assists. So that's about... It's about 50% of what you're looking for in a transfer target. This is just my pure personal preference in terms of attacking players, signing attacking players, because I just look at the bottom line numbers with attackers, basically, which is, I don't know, you can call me oversimplistic if you like. I'm very happy to hear your views on data. Do let me know, koponpodcast@gmail.com. or in the comments here. So yeah, this is why I don't want Rodrigo, because he's performing it for me about 50% only of what you want from an attacker. Going back to Ekitike, this is Ekitike's shot map from last season. 117 shots with 15 goals. 21.62 XG according to FOTMob's model, and again 15 goals. This is just in the Bundesliga. And if you look at that shot map, it's very pretty with 117 shots on it. You can see all the 15 goals that he scored. And you can see that there are a hell of a lot of shots from outside the box. Some of them in the top range are extremely optimistic. I don't know if he'd had somebody, I don't know what he'd had for breakfast that day. But he was shooting from about 50 yards, it looks like, out wide. Crazy idea to shoot from there, but it shows confidence, I suppose, Nigel. But you would think that, Nigel, that Arne Slot will definitely have a word. Arne Slot, who has said how much he admires Pep Guardiola, and Guardiola is another coach who just doesn't tolerate these kinds of optimistic long shots. We saw Jurgen Klopp laugh a lot of them when players tried it, whereas I think certain managers are more stern with players when they just try these outrageous shots. And surely this is something, Nigel, that Arne can iron out, is it?
I would think so. Klopp might have been laughing on the sideline, but I'm not sure why he wouldn't have had a word afterwards.
True.
I think he would have said that, right, so no more of that. You've had your shot now, that's it. I think there would definitely be a word. They wouldn't let that go. I'm not sure he'd be able to get that many shots in the Premier League anyway, with the amount of players we'll have around him. You know what I mean? I saw a clip earlier on. He scored a hat-trick for France. Under 21s, I think it was, against England.
Okay.
And 2 of the goals were like from a yard out. He runs off the shoulder of the last defenders around the 6-yard box and just feeding in. And we've got players who can do that. So that'd be, I think, a good thing. We get our players running into the we've got Mo, Florian Wirtz, and whoever else playing, Cody Gakpo, Diaz, running in behind fullbacks. So I think he might improve if he's playing with better players. That's a big factor for me.
It's terrifying, isn't it? It's terrifying for the opposition. That front four, but with Frimpong and Kerkez, 2 extremely attacking fullbacks as well. I don't know what we're going to do in defence if we lose the ball, but in attack, I think we're going to win every game 7-5, to be honest. But there you go. So I mean, it's got a breakdown on FOTMob of the kind of goals he scored. So 15 goals on the fast break. I don't really understand any of this, but there you go. I'm not quite sure, but all the different types of shots that he took. Yes, okay. So 85 shots with his right foot, 18 with his left foot, and only 14 attempts with his head, which is a little bit surprising. He's only in the 50-something percentile. Let's go up to the 55th percentile for aerial duels won. So he doesn't win many headers for someone who's 6'4". So that's something as well.
Yeah, but I suppose I suppose if you're taking 29 shots from outside the box, you can't be in there to head the ball in, can you?
Well, that's true, exactly. Yeah. So that was the figure. Yeah, 29 shots from outside the box. Stop it, Hugo. Exactly. Yeah, very good. So there you go. All right, and then there's just tons of other stats we can look at. I mean, the passing one, as we say, 8 assists, which is very, very good. His expected assists was only 5.39, so there was some good finishing going on there as well. His passing accuracy of 76.4% is very, very good. It's very, very tidy for a striker, and you can see that in the highlights. Some more comments coming in. Polo Mint's in the chat. Hello, Polo. He says hi. He or she, excuse me. And they say, we also need Gehi and Rodrigo. Yeah, well, again, man, Rodrigo, I'm sorry. I prefer to...
Right. I got to go. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thank you, Nigel.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, all the best to you.
Okay.
The best. Yeah, Rodrigo, man. Alan, I'm not very... I'm not up on him. Wouldn't you rather develop Rio? Did you see Rio versus Preston? He was electric.
Yes, definitely. And I seen you on our chat group talk about Rodrigo before, and so it's not new to me what you're saying, but I agree with you 100%. When you look at these stats and look at everything, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. I wouldn't be dying to get him as such. But yeah, Rio, oh, yeah. I'm terrified of building up a young player because we've seen it so many times. But there's a certain time where you see someone and you just think, not just his skill, he's just beyond his years, beyond his age. He didn't look like a 16-year-old kid playing with Mo Salah and stuff. And the thing that impressed me most about it was he did the same kind of dribbles and went by a few players a few times. But the cross he put in for Mo, I don't know if you remember, we had a through ball. He ran on, he got to the ball, and he crossed it to the far post for Mo, and he overhit it. Like it was a mile over Mo's head. But it was his reaction to it that I liked. He turned around, he put his hand up to Mo. It was like, sugar, I won't do that again. And the other thing was, you could see Mo Salah speaking to him all during that first half. Mo was talking to him. And Mo's the type of player that will help everybody. But when you see a professional like Mo, of his quality, his world-class quality, talking to a young player like that, remember, they see lots of young players coming in to train and play with them. The fact that Mo gave all that time to talking to that young fella told me a lot. That Mo expects him to move on and be a great player. So I would love to see him get into the cup teams on the bench and just learn, because he looks, and again, I'm terrified of saying it, but he looks the part. He really does. I'm really, really excited with that young man.
It's in product. Last season, I was comparing him to a little bit to Milan Baros. Unfortunately, do you remember how Milan Baros? Some of you won't remember, but how he was a head down player. Alan, he used to run with his head down.
Yes.
Brilliant dribbling. He used to be really tenacious and dribble past people really quickly, but it's just pointless because he was just going down dark alleys, and he wasn't. You just got to play with your head up as a professional, I think.
Darwin reminds me of him, yeah. Darwin reminds me of Barrett, yeah.
Okay, all right, okay. No, I think Darwin's actually put in some good assists, I thought, but Barros, I don't know, he just literally would play with his head down all the time, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was an exception, Irish.
Yeah, but Ekitike, yes, I'm just scrolling through a couple of things. So yeah, I mean, it's loads of reporters, David Ornstein, Ben Jacobs, Chris Bascom as well, saying that Liverpool are closing in on a deal for Eintracht Frankfurt's Hugo Ekitike. So it's all, the amount of, it's true. James Pearce as well. This is all happening. It's very, very, very exciting. Newcastle have switched their attention to Johan Wissa from Brentford. after apparently Newcastle say that they have cooled interest in Ekitike. Ekitike's just said no to them, hasn't he? But Johan Wiss is a very, very good player. I love watching him play. And there was a list, Alan, that I shared in our group, which I don't have in front of me. I can't share my screen for it. But it was the non-penalty XG plus non-penalty XA. So the amount of goals and assists that players have had created last season. And basically, Mo Salah was number one in terms of creating goal scoring opportunities and taking goal scoring opportunities. Mo Salah was number one, and all the names you would expect: Rafinha, Lewandowski. In terms of they were in the top 20. Mbappe was there. Everybody you would expect was in this top 20, including some names though. A few of them that jumped out. For example, I believe around about a 17th on this list of the best XG and XA players in Europe. There was someone called Emmanuel Emega, who plays in France, who is a very good 22, 23-year-old. And a couple of others, but most of them are just the names you would expect. But Ekitike was on this list, and he was number 5, Alan, in terms of creating the best chances and being in the best place for the best chances. And as was said earlier, playing with better players, where can he go? I mean, Gary Richards said at the beginning of this show that, he's going to get 40 goals. I don't know if that's true. What do you reckon? 40 goals? Is that possible?
Yeah, we wouldn't say no to that, Gary, would we? But no, if he gets 20, I'll be happy.
20, yeah,
but again, the other thing is that'll be it. 20 spread the goals across. But the other thing as well is Mo Salah is our go-to man. He's been there. He's done it. We have him for 2 more years. I don't think he's going to drop off, but it can happen at any time, especially as you get older. So Ekitike can come into this team. He can learn. He can score 15, 20 goals and be ready for another year or two when Mo eventually drops off or leaves. So there's no pressure on him coming in. He's not coming into a team expected to score 40 goals, if you know what I mean. He's coming into a team that's playing well, good players. Mo Salah's the star. Cody's going to get you goals, Other Diaz is going to get you goals. Verts, there's other players getting goals, so there's not going to be much pressure on him. So he's going to come in, hopefully settle in and just play football. And as I said, if he gets 15, 20 goals this season, I'm quite happy. But if he gets to 40, we'll go on the piss with Gary.
Absolutely. Robin's in the chat. Hi, Robin. Robin says 40 goals, maybe another one-season wonder that we have. Yeah, it's amazing. Imagine that. And some other people have joined the chat. It's great to see you in the chat, everybody. Jen LFC is here. Hello, Jen. She says he's better than Nunez. Ekitike, better than Nunez. He could well be an upgrade. Nunez, what was it, 7 goals in all competitions last season? Something like that. Devoid of confidence. I do think that if Nunez does make a move, he could become an incredible player. Or, as Nigel was saying in the last episode of Kop On, an arm around the shoulder, give him this confidence back. He could be an amazing player, but there's all this could be, maybe, ifs and buts with Darwin Nunez, whereas Ekitike looks like he might hit the ground running. Yes, Alan? You wanted to come
Yes, no, I agree totally with you, yeah. No, I was just agree with you there, yeah. He was, Darwin has had the arm around his shoulder for 2 years with Jurgen Klopp, and it just hasn't worked, so wish him the best. Hope he goes somewhere and is a sensation. Sometimes a player just needs to move as well for his own sake.
Yeah, you're damn right. Absolutely. If I just ask you, Alan, to just mute your mic when you're not talking, because it's there's a bit of background noise coming on there. Thank you very much. Edward is in the chat as well. He says, big up panel and chat. Hello, Edward, and hello, everybody in the chat. Yeah, great to have you with us. So yeah, what's the latest? Robin was asking, what's the latest on Hugo? Well, we're just waiting for the clubs to announce that they have agreed a fee. Liverpool have made a bid. Depends on who you ask. Is it 70 million? Is it 80 million? Is it euros? I don't know. It's not my pocket. It's not your pocket. We'll just see what happens with that. Jen's talking about Darwin and says that the trouble is Darwin has one game and then he fails, and he takes one step forwards and two steps backward. I think that's what you're saying, Jen, is that there's a lack of consistency with Darwin. Yeah, maybe. It's we'll see what happens. I think he's doing very well for Uruguay, as I remember. So maybe Bielsa is the kind of manager who can get the best out of Darwin. Who knows? But it looks like he'll be moving on. And we've got this incredible attack then. Mo Salah, Florian Wirtz, Cody Gakpo, Ekitike. And people want more. You've got young Rio. You've got Chiesa. I forgot about Chiesa. Cody Gakpo, have I even said him? My God. We've got attackers coming out of our ears, coming out of our nostrils. It's going to be a heck of a season, I'm telling you. Just something to watch. It's going to be utterly incredible. So one thing about, that struck me as well, Alan, is the idea that when Darwin came in, he came in as the record transfer for a striker, or even our record striker, because we only paid 75 million for Virgil. So at 80 million, Darwin was our most expensive ever player. And I wonder if that price tag sort of, affected Darwin a little bit, Alan, because now that we signed Wirtz, Ekitike's coming in sort of without the pressure of being the most expensive player. And I think that's got to be good for an attacker, Alan, in terms of, taking the pressure off, just he can relax in the box, hit his shots. I don't know, what do you think?
That's a brilliant point, Owen. I hadn't even thought of that, to be honest. Yeah, that's a brilliant point. There is more of a pressure on a player, I think, if he's the most expensive player and he's a striker, because the added pressure of trying to score goals. So yeah, that's a really good point. And I said already, I think he's coming into a team where he's not coming in to replace a Mo Salah or someone. He's coming in to play alongside them. So yeah, he's going to have less pressure and just improve his game and keep going. I said this is my third time saying it, sorry, but that's a great point. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
No, it's fine. That was absolutely great. Mark Simons is in the chat. If you could just mute your mic, Alan. Sorry, yeah, you've done it. Thank you so much. Mike Simons is in the chat. Hello, Mark. Great to have you with us. He says Ekitike fits the slot machine better as he can move up a level with a better team around him, and he is the future of French football. Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. I agree with that. There's a lot to talk about there, actually, Mark, in terms of how he fits the slot machine. Because tactically, you would think that Slot is building a team to play against low blocks, which is what Liverpool play against most of the time, and to get the maximum points against defensive teams. Because when you've got Kerkez and Frimpong both pushing up, whether it's underlapping or overlapping, they're going to be taking defenders with them, our widest players. And then you've got Gakpo, who's a big guy, and he takes some stopping when he gets in the flow. So you need a couple of defenders looking after Gakpo alone. Then you've got Florian Wirtz behind, picking up the spaces, hopefully drawing out a central defender or drawing, and playing little 1-2 touches. You've got Ekitike, who's techers, as they say, technique. He's got technique, beautiful technique, like a lot of French players. Absolutely wonderful technique. So you've got him, who's also 6'3", 6'4". He's gonna draw the defenders towards him. Frimpong, you gotta watch Frimpong. The man's rapid. The man's, more rapid than the white water rides in your favourite theme park. He's unbelievable. And, I haven't even mentioned Mo Salah when I get to that list. So this is a team Slot's building tactically, I think, to break down any team that wants to sit low against us, and I really like that. Robin in the chat says Nunez reminds me of Diego Forlan. He could be sensational at another club, and that is a very good point, Robin. Yeah, I agree. Forlan, who was a flop really at Manchester United, but then did wonders in Spain. Partly to do with La Liga being a slower league and not so good defensively, allowing the technique of good players like Diego Forlan to come out, whereas in the Premier League you haven't got time to take that touch. Gary Richards says Hugo will score a hat-trick at Wembley. I have to say, Gary, I love your optimism. 40 goals a season, and you're expecting a hat-trick on his debut against Crystal Palace. I love that. And can I just say that was my first thought? That was my first daydream, was to a hat-trick on a debut. Can you imagine? Just imagining. But in terms of debuts, if he does, we're just assuming that he's going to sign now. The clubs are going to agree a fee. And he makes his debut against Crystal Palace at Wembley. Makes me think of, I don't know, do you remember some sensational debuts? I mean, the last sensational number 9 debut was Luis Suarez for me, maybe. And before that, number 9 sensational debut was Fernando Torres against Chelsea when he skinned, was it John Terry, and whacked it in with his left foot?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's the one I was going to say actually. That goal against Chelsea that day just lit up his career for us. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, I mean,
don't remember anyone getting a hat trick.
Well, yes, I don't think it's happened yet, but I mean, it's gonna happen. So yeah, I mean, in terms of what you expect from a number 9. Alan, it's sort of, does it strike you as sort of like the missing piece in that jigsaw that I was talking about before with our front 6 all pulling the defenders around? We need a big focal point who's good with technique and good at bringing the other players into the team. Does it make sense from that point of view, Alan? Tactically,
yeah, it does. We all know we need a goal scoring number 9, but I think he's a bit more than that. He can play centre, he can play left. He's a footballer, so I think he's going to suit more that Slot style. Like, I remember last year when we were signing Slot first, one of the chat groups I was in, or YouTube or something, there was a few Dutch fans wrote in it that we were very lucky to have him and what he was like as a manager. And I remember one fella in particular who said that he had seen a Slot team play 4 different formations in one game to suit the game,
amazing.
not just to suit the team that they were playing. Like, he might, if they went a goal down, he would change a formation, not players, formation. So I do think he's buying these players with, instead of going out and buying what we bought, say, instead of going out and buying one, number 9 is going to stand in front of goals. He's buying a player that he knows he can put into a different system. Like you said, he'll have overlaps going past him. He can step back. He can play football. He can go into the box. He can score headers. Yeah, I think he's going to be more than just the number 9. If you know what I mean. He's the number 9 we need, but he's more than that. It's just, Slot seems to have this vision of a game where he can change tactics, change a player's position without making subs or whatever. And I just think if what Slot did last year with players he didn't buy, he's all the credit in the bank. He wants to go and buy these players, and I'm sure he's a plan for every single player. And by the sounds of it, he's 2 or 3 plans for every single player. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's very well phrased indeed. Yeah, he's in terms of the flexibility, that's what you need. Yeah, Ekitike can play. Yeah, can add a lot of different dimensions to the attack. Jen in the chat had a very good point as well. She says we now have proper backup when we lose Mo to AFCON. I presume she's not thinking Ben Doak, but you never know. There's a hell of a player inside Ben Doak as well. But now we've got Ekitike. Someone can play on the right. Frimpong, for example. I wonder what it would be like to put Connor Bradley up there for a couple of games against, for example, League Cup opponents. Who knows? And then Jen also adds, Wirtz is gonna tear it up. And I agree, Jen. I think he is. He's going to tear it up and then burn it and then dance in the ashes. Robin says Nunez also arrived at the same time as Haaland, so that is extra pressure being compared to Haaland. Yeah, that's very true, actually. Yeah, being compared to Haaland, being the most expensive Liverpool player ever at the time. And he's an emotional guy, isn't he, Darwin? Whereas Hugo Ekitike, he seems like, I remember him being at Paris and not getting games, and he never threw his toys out the pram, he never complained, he just got on with his job and ended up getting a move. And, you didn't hear anything out of him, you didn't hear any complaints. And he joined Paris Saint-Germain from Reims, which is spelled R-E-I-M-S, but is pronounced Reims. It's my best pronunciation. It's not very good, but it's not bad. Which is the capital of the Champagne region, and he was absolutely sensational as a 19-year-old in Reims. Unbelievable. There we go. So it all looks like it's happening then. Ekitike joining Liverpool. Basically, I don't know. I just got one more thing to read out, some stats from Data MB _ on Twitter. Hugo Ekitike versus the top 5 league under 23 strikers. So that's all of the strikers under the age of 23 in the top 5 leagues: Premier League, La Liga, Liga, Bundesliga, and the one I've forgotten. Oh, it's Serie A. So for non-penalty goals, Hugo Ekitike is first. For expected goals, Hugo Ekitike is first. This is comparing him to all the other strikers who are under the age of 23 in all of the leagues. For non-penalty goals, he's first. Expected goals, he's first. Expected assists, he's first. Goals plus assists, he's first. Shots on target, first. Touches in the opposition box, first. Shot assists, first. So if that's assisting to a person who takes a shot, they don't necessarily score. He's first in that. Key passes, first. And progressive carries, when you carry the ball 10 yards minimum towards the opposition goal, he's first. That is unbelievable. There's no wonder we're paying a lot of money for this kid. That is so exciting. Jeepers creepers. So I think we're going to pretty much leave it there. People have any more comments or questions, do get them in. We'll try and wrap it up there. Gary Richards says, in defence, Gravenberch will drop into left or right back. Okay, yeah, to cover Frimpong or cover Kirkes when they go forward. Possibly, absolutely. And Jen LFC says, we have tried to help Nunez over and over, but unfortunately it's not working at Liverpool. I think that's Arne Slot's opinion, to be honest. It appears that way anyway. It seems that, we're just in the process of signing his replacement. So, I don't know, I'm all jiggly, I'm all buzzing about it, I'm all extremely excited. This has been Kop On Podcast. Thank you so much, Alan. Is there anything you would like to add that we haven't said?
No, just thanks. It's great being back on. And just one thing, if we don't sign him now, I mean, he's going to look like two plunkers, Rodney.
Not for the first time, Alan. Not for the first time. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks everybody listening and everybody in the chat and everybody watching live on YouTube. As I mentioned earlier, this is the beginning of a new season on Kop On Podcast as well. Season 8 of Kop On Podcast is starting, or has already started, and we're going to be a lot more on YouTube So do tune in. It's been a lot of fun being here. I've loved getting the comments in. I love doing things live, even if you know, I don't really announce it or anything like that. I just go live whenever I can, whenever I get a moment. And I've had a very good time just having a chat about Ugo Ekitike and getting unbelievably excited. My goodness. So hopefully they've agreed a fee, you know, 70 million, 80 million, however many million it is. And we get to see the priceless joy that Ekitike will bring us all. So whoever you are, wherever you are, take care. You'll never walk alone. And we'll see you soon.